Cincinnati, but what I love about this job is no day is the same, and I get to cover some pretty cool events in the regional area. Everything from, games up in Columbus when Ohio State's playing, or games all the way down into Lexington for UK, and I get to cover the Kentucky Derby. Okay, so when I cover the Kentucky Derby, I'm not there to actually cover the race. I'm there to do the event, show the magnitude, show some of the color that makes the Kentucky Derby so spectacular. So one of my favorite things to do at the Kentucky Derby is to find and interview all the big name celebrities who show up to watch the fastest 2 minutes in sports. And so I've kind of found my spot at Churchill Downs where I know all of the celebrities enter before going to Millionaires Row. So one year I'm there, I'm planted, I'm getting interviews, and I see 4 Escalades pull up almost like a train. And there's a locomotive, right? And then there's the caboose, and I'm wondering who's in these Escalades here. And they go right past me. They fly past me, and I grab my guy and say, let's follow those Escalades. There's got to be somebody important in those. So we're running, right? It's May. I'm in a suit trying to look nice, but we're going. We've got camera equipment and tripods, and off we go. And we get there, and the Escalades stop. And Churchill Downs is over here. There's fencing right here, and they park the cars right next to the fence, and they push everybody back. Okay, this must be an A-lister, I'm thinking. So I get pushed to the fence. Somehow I'm right there by the passenger side, and the door opens, and out steps not an A-lister, but an A-plus lister. Okay, and this gentleman is fixing his tie in the mirror. He kind of gives me a look like that. I'm like, yeah, you look good. So we do the quick interview. We do a walk and talk for 30, 40 seconds as he's walking inside of Churchill Downs, and I've got this unbelievable interview. Now, I bring that up because I spoke here at Roger Bacon a few years ago, and I do this often. I'll go speak to high school classes. I'll speak to college classes for kids who want to go into this business, and I always leave 5 to 10 minutes at the end for them to ask me any questions they want to ask about broadcasting. And inevitably, they always say, who's the coolest person you've interviewed? And so I reach back into my mental Rolodex and I say, well, Danny Milligan. You're supposed to laugh. I say, D. Alexander, of course. No, so I always say, Wayne Gretzky. And the room does that. It's silent. I'm like, okay, do these guys even know who Wayne Gretzky is? I say, all right, how about Joe Morgan? And the room stays silent. I said, Pete Rose, Anthony Munoz, they're all like, yeah, I'm nodding my head like these are big name guys. And I say, wait a minute, I know Usher. They say, yeah, we know Usher. I got to interview Usher at the Kentucky Derby. Funny thing, I called him Ush. I have no idea where that came from. I'm like, Ush and I go way back. I'm like, what's up, Ush? And he kind of gave me a look, and he and I did a walk and talk. It's on my resume reel if ever I want to get another job. So thanks to Usher. Okay, welcome everybody formally to the Cincinnati Sports Buddy LaRosa's High School Hall of Fame, where today we celebrate the 50th induction class, and that will include 5 athletes, a legendary coach, 2 iconic teams, and we will honor our high school MVPs, D. Alexander and Matt Ponatoski. To speak first, the CEO of LaRosa's, Mr. Michael LaRosa.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here and helping us celebrate our 50th annual Buddy LaRosa High School Sports Hall of Fame ceremony. You should have at your tables today a commemorative coin that we had specially minted for today's event. If there aren't enough at your table, please let me know before you leave today, and I'll make sure that you'll have one of these as a keepsake. Our Hall of Fame began back in 1975, and we're fortunate today that my father, Buddy, is with us. Dad, why don't you stand so everybody can recognize you? Buddy LaRosa. Happy 50th anniversary, Dad. My dad is a proud 1949 graduate of Roger Bacon High School, and we're thrilled to be here and have Bacon host this, our 50th Hall of Fame, at this tremendous high school. My dad always describes the 4 years that he spent here at this Franciscan-led organization as the most impactful time in his life. This is where his character development was kind of shaped more than any other period in his life. The excellence that the school provided him in terms of the experiences that he had at Bacon with his teachers, all of his coaches and the administrators, set in place the cornerstone personal values for his life while making a positive difference in helping him make good life choices. So today we're here in honor of Buddy with his Hall of Fame to recognize 5 star athletes, 2 fabled high school state championship teams, and one of the most legendary high school coaches to ever coach in this region. And we'll be naming our 2024-25 male and female athletes of the year. I want to thank our committee of judges, that many of them are with us here today, for their support and commitment, our friends here at Bacon, and Beth Rupert for her role in making today's event possible. We hope that you enjoy your time with us today, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. A lot of times people ask me, what's it like working in your hometown? Because I'm from here. My dad actually went to Roger Bacon High School. I went across the river at Covington Catholic. And I've been working in Cincinnati in this job since 2001, so almost 25 years now. Wow, that's a lot. I didn't realize that until I said it. But it's interesting because inevitably you'll come across people that you grew up with or you've known for a long time that you'll have to do an interview with or do a story on. And those are always nerve-wracking because you know those people, and you know if you don't do it well, they're going to hold it against you for a long, long time. So I recently did an interview with someone I've known for a long time. It was an emotional story, and my parents knew this person, so I wanted to call my parents and give them a heads up that this story was going to be on TV. So I called them, I told them we did the story, and I called my parents after the fact. I said, hey, Mom, and I was on speakerphone with my mom, and my dad was in the background. I said, Mom, what did you think? She said, well, your tie was crooked. I said, okay. I said, hey, Dad, what did you think of the story? And my dad from the back yells, I was watching Channel 12. Outstanding. So even in your hometown, sometimes it can be very difficult for your parents to really take your work seriously. My mom still wants me to go to med school. That's a true story. Okay, so I bring up that story because today is a bit of a home game for the guy sitting right next to me. He is a Moeller High School graduate who went to Xavier University and is a 6-time Ohio Broadcaster of the Year. His resume is tremendous. He's done play-by-play for the Bengals, for the Reds, but it's his work with Ohio State and doing their games, to me, which is what makes him one of the best to ever do it. To accommodate the great Pat Mancuso, who is 96 years old, and I'm told about to turn 97 years old, round of applause for Pat Mancuso. We are first going to induct our Hall of Fame teams and then honor our high school MVPs. And to do that, we will do so with a member of the Ohio Broadcasters Hall of Fame, Mr. Paul Keels.
First off, that Hall of Fame closed after I was inducted. So, also, not on the script, next weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina, the National Sports Media Association is going to give out their yearly awards. They award for every state a sportscaster and sports writer of the year, as well as national honors. So next weekend, Joe Danneman is going to be honored as the Ohio Sportscaster of the Year. So how about a hand for that? It's an award that's been won by many great names: Al Michaels, Marty Brenneman, Bob Trumpy, Tom Hamilton, and a few other rummies like myself that they let in there. It is a pleasure to be here for this special anniversary Hall of Fame event, the 39th year that the high school male and female athletes of the year have been acknowledged. Since the beginning of doing this, these individuals have gone on to do so many great things, whether it's in professional sports, whether it's in Olympic sports, but also thriving in the business community and going on to be wonderful parents, husbands, wives, and great parts of their communities. As in the past, Southwest Ohio and Northern Kentucky has produced many outstanding student athletes, including state champions, All-Americans, future Olympians, talented individuals who will move on to the next level at college, and some have even gone on eventually to the professional level. This past year, state championships were won by Ohio and Northern Kentucky athletes in a wide variety of sports: golf, cross country, swimming, volleyball, bowling, tennis, wrestling, cross country, soccer, basketball, football, lacrosse, just to name some of them. This is the best of the best from this year of 2024 and 2025. In addition, as Joe mentioned, we have two outstanding sports teams that will be inducted into LaRosa's Sports Hall of Fame. And we will begin with the Princeton Vikings football team of 1983, coached by Pat Mancuso. The Class Division I state champs that year at 11-2. The 83 Princeton team was special when they went through the state tournament, capturing that championship, and ranked the #2 team in the nation in the final USA Today national poll. In the state tournament, Princeton destroyed Fremont Ross 35-7 in the semis. They went on to face Akron Garfield, then ranked #3 in the nation, and posted a 24-6 victory to earn the state title. They did beat Moeller on the way, as Harlan Barnett reminded me. According to Coach Mancuso, it wasn't a team of superstars. They had kids who weren't afraid of practicing hard. Everyone was committed to the team. The Vikings did, however, have players who did seem to stand out from the crowd. For example, defensive back Harlan Barnett, who would go on to star for 7 seasons in the NFL before becoming a head football coach at Michigan State and currently an assistant at Northwestern. Alex Higdon, who played at Ohio State and then with the Atlanta Falcons. Quarterback Michael Taylor, who had a record-setting career at Michigan. All in all, the team boasted an incredibly gifted group of players, 9 others, who went on to play Division I football. James Brown at Michigan, William Reese at Michigan State, Bill Franklin at North Carolina, Michael Brown at Iowa State, Vince Munlin with the Cincinnati Bearcats, Shane Curry at Miami, Mark Mitchell at Eastern Kentucky, George Thomas and Curtis Williams at Akron, as well as John McKinney. Accepting this year's award on behalf of that very special Princeton High School football team is the head coach of that team and a LaRosa's Hall of Fame inductee, Pat Mancuso, and the assistant athletic director at Princeton, Ms. Tamet Duckworth.
Wow. Paul, you stole my speech. You know, I'd like to start by asking all of us to take a moment of silence for 2 coaches and several of our players who have passed during that time that are unable to be here today to celebrate this occasion with us. Thank you. You know, one of the advantages that I hadn't planned on that sort of was a highlight for me today is meeting some people that go back to my time. Buddy and I are the same age, and getting to talk to Buddy again was real nice. Mike, Michael Palercio, Denny Jensen, John Popplewell. These are all people that during my time helped me out quite a bit. You know, on behalf of the assistant coaches who were here off of that team, the Tamet Duckworth, the assistant athletic director, Joe Roberts, the athletic director, Ron Bomer, the principal of the high school, and Elgin Card, the superintendent, we would like to thank the committee for the honor they bestowed on us at this occasion. You know, when Mike Palercio called me and told me about this, I thought immediately, you know, why us? You know, there are so many great high school athletic teams around the city and around this area. You know, why pick us? And then I thought, and especially why this team. We've had some good teams at Princeton. We had 2 other teams that won a state championship. We had a couple of undefeated teams. And I'm thinking, well, let me go back and think a little bit about this team. Why was it so deserving? And I have to think about 3 or 4 games that made this team special. Most of you probably are not aware of the league we played in. Paul is. We had a game with Middletown High School. Middletown was undefeated in 1983, and it so happened they happened to have a player named Chris Carter, who went to Ohio State, became an All-American, played pro ball, became an All-Pro. He was a wide receiver. They were undefeated. It was about the 7th game of the year. And as a coach, many times I sat and thought, you know, that was a perfect high school football game. I said there were more Division I athletes on the field that night than I've ever seen on one field one night in high school at that time, during that era. The fans, the stadium was packed. There were college coaches from all over Ohio, even some from Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan, and they were all there. And it was a great, great game. And if I ever saw a game where I just wanted to, hey, I'm just going to sit down here and watch and let these guys play. They're doing a great job. It was a great game. And Princeton was lucky enough, or fortunate enough, to beat them 23-21. Outstanding game. Then, sorry to say, Paul, we had the game that meant the most, probably. We were playing Moeller, the 10th game of the year, regular season game, and they beat us 28-21. Well, we had to play them in the playoffs, first playoff game, and it was right after that. And we're playing at Galbraith Field. Sellout crowd, big game in the city in those days. And as it turned out, Moeller was beating us again, and they were going down to score the clinching touchdown. And Harlan Barnett, who's sitting right there, was one of our linebackers, made a hit on Francisco, caused a fumble. We got the fumble. We drove the length of the field and scored the winning touchdown with just a couple of minutes to play and beat them 28-21. So that was a big turnaround for the Vikings. Then, as you said, Paul, we had Fremont Ross, and Fremont Ross, we played them in Dayton, and they beat Fremont Ross. And then we had the final game of the season, and it was played in Columbus at Ohio State, and it was against Akron-Garfield. And at that time, Akron-Garfield, as he pointed out, was ranked number 1 in the city, number 3 in the country, and they had, at that time, the number 1 back in the country, a back named Gladman. You remember him, Harlan. And he was quite some back. And they did a good job. Our defense did a real good job of stopping him, and we were fortunate enough to beat Akron-Garfield to win the state championship. So where did that put that 1983 football team? Well, they ended up, as he said, we win a state championship, ranked number 2 in the country, and it was a season that everybody says to me, what was the best team you ever had at Princeton? That's hard to say, but I would say if that wasn't the best, it would be very difficult to pick out one that I would have to say was better than them. The team was very deserving. I'm sure that I, as a head coach, and the assistant coaches who are sitting there would all agree and say we're very proud of being a part of that 1983 championship football team. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the recipients.
Congratulations, Pat.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
The next team to be inducted into the LaRosa's High School Sports Hall of Fame, the Ursuline Academy swimming team of 2001 and 2002, under Coach Tim Bierman, who won the Division I state championship. Ursuline Academy's team took a third straight title that year and the school's fifth girls' state swimming title overall. Powered by Hall of Famer Whitney Myers and freshman Abby Cooper, the Lions were 9-1 in a dual meet record and captured first place in every individual meet during the season. When the tournament came around, Ursuline powered through the girls' Greater Cincinnati League as well as the sectional and district championships. They would go on to qualify 13 team members to the state meet. And at the state meet, Whitney Myers started off by setting a state record in the 200 freestyle in the prelims, and then broke that mark again in the finals with a blistering pace of 14:47.19. She repeated that performance in the 100 butterfly, setting the state mark at 54:08. Depth was a big part of this championship caliber. Tri-captain Maggie Bola placed second in her first ever 100 freestyle event, and then fourth in the 100 backstroke. Abby Cooper finished fourth in the 50 free and third in the 100 breaststroke. Other point scorers, Margie Keefe, Katie Greiner, Meredith French, Kelly Krallman, Kelly Hagan, Tiffany LaPerry, and Marissa Makos. Ursuline capped off the meet with a state record 1:35.28 time in the 200 free relay of Bola, Lapari, Cooper, and Myers. Whitney Myers ended up being named Ohio Female Swimmer of the Year. The team placed third in the Speedo National Rankings and second in the NIC SCA PowerPoint Rankings, finishing first in its division for a third straight year. Accepting the award for the 2001 and 2002 Ursuline Academy swimming team is Ursuline Athletic Director Colleen O'Brien.
I would like to thank LaRosa's for this honor, and I actually would like to ask Whitney Myers and Coach Tim Bierman to come up and speak on behalf of our team.
We'll follow the age before beauty rule here. It has been an honor to be associated with Ursuline Academy over the years, and one word comes to mind in thinking about the 01-02 Ursuline Academy swimming and diving team, and that is the word depth. We have a saying in the teams that I've been associated with: if it looks easy, it's because it wasn't. And when I say that depth is what I think of this team, I'm also thinking of the countless hours in the pool and the dedication that was shown at that time by these very young women and now these very adult and grown-up women behind me. It really was an amazing team that set the standard for Ursuline swimming and diving, and that standard has been carried on for decades now. And I will step aside and introduce you to the 2002 Female Swimmer of the Year, Whitney Myers.
Thank you. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you to LaRosa's for this amazing honor. Thank you to the committee. Congratulations to the other Hall of Famers as well. I'm a little embarrassed because my memory is not as good as Coach Pat's that just gave play-by-play, and I didn't even remember what races I swam at the meet. But I think that says something about our group in this 2002 team. It wasn't the moments or the races or the individual achievements, or the relays were very special as well, but it was how we came together as a group, and those are the memories that I have. When you look at the picture of us in this manual, this program, excuse me, we have kind of ridiculous outfits on. Our parents got very involved, kind of searching throughout the year. We all swam on individual teams. We swam with our club team throughout the high school year, and then we would come together for the teams and come together for the meets and race as a team. So we had to work really hard to build a sense of unity and our team culture, and so our parents would search for fun outfits for us to wear. So we are in ridiculous dresses that my parents bought on a vacation, a fun Hawaiian visor, anything that would make us feel as one, since we were a bunch of individuals on different club teams. But those are the memories that we have. It was a very special time in our life, and I'm so grateful to be here today to represent the group and get to catch up with some of the old teammates and meet some of their husbands and children. I just really appreciate this opportunity, so thank you.
Next, we go to what have proven to be over the years very difficult, but fun difficult in a way, task selecting the high school athletes of the year. And it's that time to introduce the two very gifted individual student athletes who were chosen as the LaRosa's high school male and female MVPs of the year for 2024 and 25. First, the female MVP of the year is Dee Alexander from Purcell Mariana High School. Dee is one of the most decorated student athletes in Ohio high school sports history. The first ever student athlete in the history of the LaRosa's MVP of the Year program to be recognized as the MVP of the year in back-to-back years. But everything else that she's done is exceptional as well. Dee scored 2,348 career points, led her team to 4 straight Ohio State championships, a feat accomplished by only 4 teams in Ohio high school history. She scored more career points and pulled down more career rebounds than any other player in school history. Dee was named Ms. Ohio Basketball 3 straight years. Only the second girls player in high school history to win that award 3 straight seasons. When she was named Ms. Ohio Basketball as a sophomore, she was only the second sophomore in Ohio high school history to earn that honor. Among the many awards that she's collected, McDonald's High School All-American, and for 4 straight years, named the MVC Player of the Year. Cincinnati Division II Player of the Year by the Enquirer, Southwest Ohio District 16 Player of the Year, and Division Player of the Year. Additionally, Gatorade Ohio Basketball Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Even better, her skills will continue as Dee, here in her hometown, is committed to play her college basketball at the University of Cincinnati. Many of these records have her recognized as one of the best high school players in the United States. Dee was invited to participate in the 2024 USA Basketball Women's U17 National Team Trials in Colorado Springs. During the summer of 23, she was a member of the USA Basketball U16 National Women's Team that won a gold medal at the FIBA Americas Championship in Mexico. It is time now to introduce the LaRosa's Female MVP of the Year for the second consecutive year, Dee Alexander from Purcell, Maryland.
I'm honored to be here for a second year in a row. Couldn't do it without my support system that I have sitting over there. Some of them obviously could not make it today, but I'm just honored to be here. Couldn't do it without my coaches, honestly. So I'm grateful to be here again. Thank you for this opportunity.
Next, we will introduce the LaRosa's male MVP of the year, and he is Matt Ponatoski from Moeller High School, where he stars in both football and baseball. As a junior, Matt has established himself as one of the top two-sport prospects in the country, getting numerous scholarship offers for both football as a quarterback and baseball as a shortstop. This past year in football, Matt passed for 4,107 yards and 56 touchdowns, both school records. This to help lead the Crusaders to a state runner-up finish. For his career, he has passed for 7,544 yards and 86 touchdowns. He holds school records for passing completions, attempts, yards, and touchdowns. His 56 TD passes this past season surpassed the number of single-season TD passes thrown by Joe Burrow in his remarkable high school career at Athens High School. Matt earned many honors, including being named Mr. Ohio Football, Gatorade Ohio Football Player of the Year, Max Preps Ohio Player of the Year, Ohio Offensive Player of the Year, Southwest Ohio Offensive Player of the Year, and GCL Southwest Offensive Player of the Year. Now that's just football. In baseball, Matt, a highly touted shortstop and pitcher who was offered a baseball scholarship at the University of Missouri when he was just 13. He has since decommitted and is currently weighing his other collegiate options. As a sophomore on the diamond, he batted .391 with a .500 on-base percentage, hit 3 home runs, had 33 RBIs, and 13 steals in 31 games for Moeller. He was selected first-team All-City by the Enquirer. This season, he led Moeller to the GCL South title, finishing the season with a 25-4 record. Matt led the league in hitting at .440 with 38 RBIs as well. He also scored 28 runs and had 12 stolen bases. He was named GCL South Player of the Year and Ohio Co-Player of the Year. In addition, he was named the Ohio Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year this season, becoming the first player in Ohio history to win the Gatorade Ohio Football Player of the Year and the Gatorade Ohio Baseball Player of the Year in the same season. Matt has not yet selected where he plans to play at the next level, and his coaches and classmates and most likely many other schools across the country are anxious to know what that will be, and also anxious to see what Matt will do in his senior season at Moeller. Unfortunately, Matt could not be here today, but we do have a video of Matt acknowledging his acceptance of this award.
About to have the award in, so sorry I couldn't get to the award, but I just want to thank LaRosa's for a great award and a great accomplishment for not only me, but my teammates, my coaches, and all the people who in my community who have helped me and surrounded me to be the best person I am. I can't do it without God, and I thank the Lord for what He's put in my life, and I'll get some cheese pizza from LaRosa's.
Here to accept Matt's award today is the head football coach of the Moeller Crusaders, Bert Bathiani.
I know Matt is very appreciative of this award. They originally RSVP'd to be here, and then due to recruiting, they had to schedule their official visit to Oregon during this weekend, so I actually just texted with them a little bit. They just got home after a 10-hour travel trip, coming back here, but I know he's really, really thankful for this award. One thing I want to say about Matt is everyone gets to see all the success that he has on the diamond, on the football field. They don't get to see the great young man that he is. He has a strong faith. He is very, very humble. He's been raised right by his parents. He's a great brother. He's a great son. He's a great nephew. He's the ultimate teammate. I could go on and on about all the things that he's really, really good at. His work ethic is incredible, and they all get to see him on the, throw the touchdown pass or hit the home run, but they don't see the hard work that he puts in and day out to get better at his craft. His competitiveness and his toughness is something that I'm most proud of him at. Quick story, we were playing Mallard Creek in Game 4, and we scheduled that game on a Sunday, and we were playing them on a Friday. We had a late cancellation, so we added this game really, really late. We're in a dogfight of the game. Matt wasn't really playing his best. He led us back to complete the comeback and push this game into overtime. Unfortunately, we lost, but on the last play of the game in overtime, Matt takes a hit, helmet comes off, gashes his chin, there's blood everywhere. And as I'm walking out there, I'm thinking, I just killed our quarterback. He gets stitches. They didn't have Novocaine, so they had to do it raw on his chin. And he's in the training room the whole time just saying, Coach, I'm going to play against St. X next week. Don't worry about it. I got you. So he had the stitches. He doesn't practice on Monday. Tuesday practices, helmet, no chin strap. Wednesday is his first day of real practice. On Friday, he threw 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, and just lit it up and continued that throughout the year. That just goes to show like how competitive this young man really is. I can't say enough good things about him. Thank you for LaRosa's Hall of Fame. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have 15-year pizzas waiting in our staff room after every game. And after every game, I say the same thing. It tastes like victory. And hopefully we can keep that continued. So thanks again. God bless.
I'm going to date myself a little bit here, Bert. I need you to show Matt the clip from Roadhouse when Patrick Swayze's getting his knife cut, cinched together without any local anesthesia. And the line he uses, I want you to teach him, is pain don't hurt. That's what you do when you get stitches without any anesthesia or any kind of a local. D, also pay attention here for the next hour or so when we induct these new members, because I'm pretty sure in about 10 or 15 years, we'll be right back up here in the Hall of Fame. Same thing with Matt as well. One more time for D. Alexander, Matt Ponatoski, our high school MVPs. Before we induct our new members, I do want to shout out our Hall of Fame committee. Look, we do a lot of work on this. A lot of people who have been around covering high school sports in the Cincinnati area. We take this very seriously, but we have a lot of fun with it, and we have this day to celebrate the hard work that we put into this. So I would like a round of applause after I read all of these names. Mary Jo Huseman, Donna Dolman Miller, Whitney Myers, John Popovich, Dennis Jansen, Pat Mancuso, Bill Mefford, Mark LaRosa, Mike LaRosa, all of the committee members who do a lot of great work for us here. Round of applause for everybody who put this together. Also to our committee chairman, who makes this job real easy for me every year, Mike Valercio. Thank you, Mike P. And I want to shout out and recognize our Hall of Famers who are here today. So if you hear your name and you're able, please stand up so we can see you if you're in the Hall of Fame. Joe Jacobs, Mary Jo Huseman. Okay, I got these backwards, didn't I? That's on me. Okay, so let's shout out the Hall of Famers, okay? Mary Jo Huseman, Donna Dolman Miller, Whitney Myers, John Popovich, Dennis Jansen, Pat Mancuso. If you're here, please stand up so we can recognize our Hall of Famers. I just anointed you to the committee as well, so come join the committee. We have a great time. We have some pizza, we have some laughs. It's great. Okay, so those are our Hall of Famers. Now to our committee. Joe Jacobs, Mary Jo Huseman, Bill Mefford, Dennis Jansen, Paul Keels, and Mike and Mark LaRosa. A round of applause to our committee members as well. Okay. Now for what we're here for, and that is to induct 6 new members to Buddy LaRosa's High School Sports Hall of Fame. And we will begin with Tim Bierman, the swimming coach from Ursuline Academy and St. Xavier High School. Tim Bierman. I love that energy. All right, bring the energy throughout the whole day. This is a fun event, so let's hear some noise for our Hall of Fame inductees. It wasn't even something on my radar, Tim told me. I was like, wow, this is quite meaningful. Unquestionably, the winningest and perhaps the most unsung coach in greater Cincinnati this century is swimming coach Tim Bierman. Since 1996, covering more than 20 years as head coach, Tim has won 10 Ohio Division I state championships and 8 national titles. Tim began his head coaching career at Ursuline Academy, and during his 13-year career, he captured 4 state titles and was Ohio runner-up 7 different times. Also, his teams at Ursuline produced more than 80 high school All-Americans. Perhaps his finest team was the 2001-02 Ursuline Academy team, which featured a host of exceptional talent led by LaRosa's Hall of Famer Whitney Myers, who is now also on the committee. Congratulations, Whitney. The Lions finished that year regarded as the nation's best team by NISCA and number 3 by Swimming World magazine. Tim then moved to St. X, serving as an assistant before taking over the reins in 2016. At St. Xavier, Bierman continued both his and the Aqua Bombers' winning tradition. Tim captured the Ohio State Division I title all 6 years he was head coach, giving him a grand total of those 10 Ohio State titles. Perhaps his finest team was the 2016-17 team that was led by future collegiate All-American Grant House. During his tenure as St. X's head coach, Bierman was fortunate enough to work with 112 All-Americans. Tim's teams at St. X were 5 times national champions by the NISCA, and the 2017 team was regarded by Swimming World as the national champion as well. Having won numerous state and league Coach of the Year titles, it was no wonder he has been inducted into the Ohio High School Swimming Coaches Association Hall of Fame. And currently, Tim is a campus minister and religious educator and swim coach at St. Xavier. I certainly take it with a great bit of honor, he said. I'm humbled by it, and to me, it's a reflection of my greatest takeaway, the relationships that I was able to be a part of. The newest member of Buddy LaRosa's High School Hall of Fame is Tim Bierman.
Well, thank you all very much. I'd like to begin by thanking the LaRosa family for their commitment and dedication to the Hall of Fame over so many years. And now that I'm here and see that it's the 50th anniversary, I'm even more appreciative. It'll make it even more meaningful to me. I also wish to acknowledge and congratulate my fellow inductees, those here today as well as those recognized in previous years. Your accomplishments are each truly impressive. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and show my gratitude to the many coaches who have walked with me and given me guidance over the years. In particular, I'm indebted to Jim Brower and Jenny Breisinger for their wisdom and support. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have worked with some of the most committed athletes in Cincinnati for the past 25 years. And none of that would have been possible without the trust and dedication of Ursuline Academy and St. Xavier High School, as well as their respective athletic departments and administration. Over the years, the support of family and friends led me to experience some incredible heights and lasting memories in the sport of swimming. And I am grateful to share this honor with them and to have them here with me today. It all began late on a school night when my father would take me to Sycamore High School during the high school practice he was coaching, just to play around in the pool and get me out of my mom's hair. A year or so later, a new club team was formed, and I was one of its initial members. Larry Lyons, a well-deserving fellow Hall of Fame inductee, was the coach who put all this together. My first coach was a young woman named Susie, and it just so happens that approximately 40 years later, I became the coach of Susie's son, Grant House, also a Hall of Fame inductee, and one of the most accomplished athletes from the Cincinnati area. I suppose it's a Cincinnati thing, how everything just seems to come full circle. Speaking of memories, I am left with many. Surrounding it all was the pleasure of working with gifted young athletes and helping them to realize they could achieve things beyond their expectations. It's easy to think that memories end with the last touch of the wall or the final trip to the podium. The truth is, such memories live on in seeing what these same individuals have achieved outside the pool, in both their careers and their families. I have little doubt that they have made and will continue to make contributions in their community by helping others recognize their own true potential. I am often asked to point to a highlight or two from my years in coaching. I'm not being evasive when I say it is truly difficult to pin down individual highlights. Perhaps the most persistent memories are the ones which I view as serving as the catalyst for all that came after them. That would be our league championships and the Fred Cooper Invitational. The GCL and GGCL championships always brought forth intense competition, and the Coop served as the end-of-season meet for those not moving further on into the districts. Those two meets served to inspire our teams to future great swims, granting a spotlight to those who were often overlooked. Those competitions showed all of us that every member of the team was capable of rewriting the limits. Since the announcement of this year's Hall of Fame class, a few people have asked me what this recognition means to me. I am truly humbled and appreciative to receive this. I am aware of those who have gone before me and what they have accomplished. Yet the prevailing sentiment of this recognition is that it is not for me alone. It is shared with all the athletes, families, coaches, and officials who have been a part of this journey over the years. Those relationships are the lasting legacy of my years in coaching. I wish to thank them for our continued relationship, and I thank you as well for this recognition. Thank you.
I know that group over there can make more noise than that. There we go. Our next inductee is Yancey Gates, Withrow class of 2008. Unquestionably, the most dominating big man in greater Cincinnati over the last 25 years, Yancey Gates powered Withrow to great success during his junior and senior seasons. At 6 feet 9 inches, Yancey averaged a double-double his last 2 seasons for the Tigers, and in those 2 seasons, Yancey led Withrow to a 40-10 record, 2 district championships, and a regional runners-up title. Yancey was named the prestigious Parade Magazine All-America team in 2008 after being named in the preseason as a McDonald's All-America nominee. He was named the Ohio Player of the Year by the AP. He was first-team All-Ohio as a senior and was twice selected the Southwest District Player of the Year. Additionally, he was named the Greater Cincinnati Basketball Hall of Fame's Division I Player of the Year. Gates went on to play at UC, where he still ranks as the only player in Bearcats history to lead the team in rebounding for 4 consecutive seasons. He's tied for third with 132 career games played and finished with 916 career rebounds, currently 10th in program history. Yancey scored nearly 1,500 points in his career, which stands 16th all-time in UC history, and he is one of only 6 players to score at least 1,400 points and collect more than 900 rebounds in his career as a Bearcat. You think about that program and the big names, what an accomplishment. Yancey went on to enjoy a 9-year career overseas, playing on a number of teams in Europe, China, and Mexico. Currently, Yancey lives with his daughter Yamari in Cincinnati and is pursuing various business and possible coaching opportunities. Now a LaRosa's Hall of Famer, a round of applause for Yancey Gates. Our next inductee, and I expect a lot of noise here, okay, is Amanda Gruber-Creech, St. Ursula class of 1994. Noise. One of the finest soccer players in St. Ursula Academy history, Amanda earned 10 varsity letters in 3 different sports in high school. A high school All-American, she was the driving force behind 2 St. Ursula state championships in 1991 and 1993, as those 2 teams finished ranked 3rd and 4th, respectively, in the nation in the USA Today rankings, both top 5 in the country. Among her many honors, she was named Cincinnati Enquirer and Cincinnati Post Player of the Year and Soccer Striker of the Year by Soccer Cincinnati magazine. She was also a first-team All-State selection and was named to the All-Midwest regional team. She was voted MVP of the East-West All-Star Game in a 4-1 victory. At an All-Star game, everybody there is good. She scored all 4 goals. Amanda was also a 4-year varsity starter in basketball who set 3 school records and was a second-team All-City pick by the Cincinnati Enquirer. She took her soccer game to Xavier and became a collegiate All-American, where she set many Musketeer and Atlantic 10 records. Amanda still ranks as XU's all-time leader in points and goals and ranks number 2 all-time in assists and career shots. As a senior in 1997, Amanda set an A10 single-season record with 59 points. She was named first-team A10 for the 3rd straight season and was picked as the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. Amanda joined her father, Jim, in the Xavier University Hall of Fame in 2003. Currently, Amanda and her husband, Dan Creech, a Hall of Fame soccer player at Miami University, have 5 children: Tanner, Macy, Molly, Cody, and Hudson. Amanda could not be here today, but she did send us a video to accept this award.
Good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to receive this award among so many legendary athletes. And I thank the LaRosa's and all those involved for making this possible. To be recognized for something that brought me such joy, discipline, and life lessons is humbling enough, but to share this moment with my sister makes it unforgettable. I want to thank my family, coaches, teammates, and everyone who believed in us along the way. This award is a reflection of their support just as much as it is of our hard work. Cincinnati has always been a special place, and tonight it even feels more special. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for this incredible honor. I'm proud to be part of this legacy. Thank you again.
To accept the award on her behalf is her older sister, Andrea.
Thank you so much, the LaRosa's family, for this honor to our family. It's incredibly special. I'd like to first thank God for giving us all the amazing people in this room, for the gifts of athletics and all that we have here. It's just so incredibly special that we can all come together and be here today, just looking at all the wonderful gifts God has given us. And I can't go without saying the greatest gift of all for my sisters and I have been our mom and dad. And they are here today. Thank you for all that you've given us. Thank you. Thank you for choosing St. Ursula Academy for us. St. Ursula Academy has made us the strong women that we are, and we are proud to have our daughters attend St. Ursula, and that all started with you choosing St. Ursula for us. So thank you for that gift. And now I'm back at St. Ursula as campus minister, and it's also special to be full circle. To Amanda and Annette, thank you for the joy that you've given us through playing soccer and basketball. And thank you for the children you have had and blessed us with. Tanner, Macy, Molly, Cody, Hudson, Jake, Bailey, Brooklyn. I absolutely love being their aunt. And I absolutely love going to all of their events. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you. So thank you so much for the legacy that you started. I love you.
Andrea, you're a first ballot Hall of Fame aunt. because you just nailed 8 names like that. Outstanding. By the way, mom and dad, okay, raise your hand. Where did the athletic prowess come from? Was it mom or dad? Raise the hand. Yes, yeah, you're in the Hall of Fame. I get it. But you're allowed to raise your hand too. Yeah, it had to come from mom as well. Congratulations to the parents, because their other daughter is now going into the Hall of Fame. Our next Hall of Famer is Annette Gruber-Bell, St. Ursula class of 1997, Hall of Famer. Let's give her a round of applause. It was never a competition between each other, Annette Gruber said of her sister Amanda. We were always happy for each other. Clearly, Annette Gruber had a very tough act to follow in her sister Amanda, but the younger sister set her own pace and posted amazing numbers during her high school and college careers. She earned 8 varsity letters for the Bulldogs in soccer and basketball, teaming with Amanda and leading St. Ursula to the 1993 Ohio Division I state title and that number 4 national ranking. Annette went on to become a nominee for the Wendy's National Heisman Soccer Athlete of the Year. A 4-year varsity starter at St. Ursula, Annette finished as the school's number 3 all-time leading scorer, twice named first team All-City by Soccer Cincinnati magazine, and once by the Cincinnati Enquirer and the Cincinnati Post in 1996. She was also a 3-time academic All-State selection. When I asked her about a favorite moment, she said, "We knew we had to borrow the big jackets from the swim team. When we had those jackets, we knew we were playing important games and playing deep into the seasons because it was cold outside." It's kind of funny the things we remember from our high school big games. In basketball, she was a 3-year varsity starter, playing all 5 positions and twice led the team in rebounds. Xavier University must have felt like home for Annette, as she joined both her father, Jim, and her sister as Musketeers. Annette enjoyed a record-setting and Hall of Fame career at XU as she finished as the school's number 2 all-time leader in career points and goals scored, and is still number 1 all-time at Xavier in single season and career assists. She finished her career as a 4-time Atlantic 10 first-team selection. Annette and her husband, Ricky Bell, are the first husband-wife duo to be inducted into the LaRosa's Hall of Fame. I think that deserves a round of applause. Annette and Rick have 3 children, Jake, Bailey, and Brooklyn, and she is the newest member of the LaRosa's High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Annette.
Thank you to the entire LaRosa family and committee for honoring and celebrating high school sports and athletes for 50 years. What a commitment to sports that is. And congratulations to all the inductees tonight. It's an honor to be inducted with all of you. What a special day for me to get into the Hall of Fame, to join my husband, and to go in with my sister. So much of this honor is because of the support of so many. I want to thank my mom and dad here today. Thank you for your endless support over the years, coming to all our games, home or away. It always meant so much. Thank you, Dad, for all the shooting sessions and heart-to-heart talks. I want to thank my sister, Amanda. Hands down, you were my favorite teammate to ever play with. Amanda and I had this unusual, yet completely usual and seamless way of playing together and knowing every run, thought, or pass the other was going to make. We were lucky enough to play soccer and basketball together at St. Ursula and soccer at Xavier. The memories of playing a 2-front with Amanda at Xavier will always be some of my favorites. The defense could never figure out who was who. Thank you also to Ron Quinn, our coach at Xavier, for his endless support and teaching. I want to thank my sister, Andrea. Thank you for being our #1 fan. Your support and enthusiasm at all our games was the best. Thank you for your positive outlook on life. I want to thank my family. My husband Rick and I met our senior year in high school. We have been to each other's games at St. Ursula, Moeller, Xavier, and 10 years worth of professional baseball games. We wouldn't trade it for anything. And now we get to watch our 3 kids play. Jake just graduated from Moeller, where we watched him play basketball and baseball, and is going on to play baseball at Bellarmine University in the fall. Thanks for your positive example, determination, and likability to all who meet you. Bailey is a junior playing soccer and basketball at St. Ursula. It is so fun to be able to watch you play the same sports at SUA as I did. Make sure you thank those that came before you for the awesome gym and field you have now. Thanks for your love of the game, love of life, and love for your family. Brooklyn is our youngest, and maybe the strongest. She will be an 8th grader next year at Guardian Angels. She plays both indoor and sand volleyball, track, basketball, and loves to craft. Thanks for your smile, strength, creativity, and resilience. Thank you again to the LaRosa's for this honor today. It's a very special day for me and our entire family.
You know, it's not easy to get up here and give a speech like this in front of the whole group, and you know you're on TV. I spoke to Annette this week, and she said, can I just play a game instead of giving a speech? I said, you know, we can wheel a soccer goal right here, and you can do like an upper 90 PK for us. That would be pretty cool. But I thought you did a great job, and congratulations to the entire Gruber family. Our next inductee is Danny Milligan's St. Xavier class of 2008. When I played at St. X, I felt like Superman. One of the most versatile and unique players in Bombers history, Danny Milligan left his fingerprint on the storied history of St. Xavier High School. A 3-year starter and a high school All-American, he played 6 different positions for the Bombers football team and was a force on the 2007 undefeated team. That St. X team went 15-0 and won the Ohio Division I state title and the mythic national championship, according to PrepNation.com. In that game, Danny accounted for 15 of St. Xavier's 27 points in their 27-0 win in that state title game. Special and selfless were the 2 words Danny used when I asked him about that team in that season. As a senior, Danny scored 176 points. That's 9 receiving touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, kicked 13 field goals, and 53 extra points. In fact, his 40 career field goals set the Ohio State record at the time and is currently number 2 all-time in Ohio high school history. His awards are impressive. Voted the Bombers MVP in 2007 by his teammates, he was the Cincinnati Enquirer Player of the Year, the AP Co-Offensive Player of the Year, and First Team All-Ohio as a kicker. A finalist for Ohio's Mr. Football Award, he was selected as an All-American by both Rise Magazine and PrepNation.com. A 3-time first-team All-City selection, Danny played in both the Cincinnati East-West All-Star Game and in the Big 33 Ohio-Pennsylvania All-Star Game. He went on to play at UC, where he was a 4-year letterman and scored 2 touchdowns in a Bearcats uniform. Currently, Danny and his wife, Kylie, live in Milford with their daughters, Ryan and Avery. He called St. Xavier, quote, the ultimate growth experience. I like that. The newest member of the Hall of Fame, Mr. Danny Milligan.
Thank you. Hey, D, what's up, Bearcat? We're going to have to work on that later, all right? We got it. All right. So I want to appreciate everyone that came out today. This is humbling. It's a heck of an honor to be surrounded by world-class athletes, teams, coaches, and an organization like the LaRosa family has put together. 50 years is quite the history, and to be here on the said 50th year is truly an honor. I'm sure that was very conflicting for the board, and to select me to be among these talented individuals means a lot. I do have to say that 2007 football class deserves to be here more than I do today. That team is more than me, and that team put me here. So I'm going to honor them as well for allowing me to max out my potential with that team and reaching historic levels like a state championship and national championship. We were surrounded by great athletes, And it was always the opportunity of when will I get the ball and how much can I do with it that meant the most to us. We knew that we only had limited touches to a ball, and that we had some star-studded athletes like a Darius Ashley that may handle it more than most of us. But just like life, opportunities only come so often. And that is what St. X has taught us, is with that growth and with the opportunities, you can only take each one for granted so many times. What made me unique as an individual amongst a team sport was simply how I was raised. I was raised by a mother and a father who did not let me settle, who did not let me go to a different level of competition based on who I was playing. It was either you give it your best or you don't play. You don't quit if you don't like it. If you signed up for it, you're going to finish. And they said that no matter how you do, and when you get home, we'll be here for you. So, Mom, Dad, thank you. I had some great siblings as well that might have beat up on me a few times, but also allowed me to really look at them and try to copy them at the best that I could. My sister Katie was an outstanding soccer player as well, just inducted into her high school Hall of Fame as well. And I was able to sit on the bench and kind of be under her wing, if you will. Sitting or standing at only 5'2", she was what my dad would call 100 pounds of mean. So me standing at 5'7" on a good day, and thanks Joe for adjusting the mic for me, appreciate that. I had no other choice but to get up and stand up anytime I got knocked down. It was not an option if I wanted to go back and face my family when I got home. It was a true sense of pride and a true sense of humility when you got to go home and talk about the game and the opportunities that you had and the opportunities that you made of them. Next would be my two brothers as well, my oldest brother who could not be here, and then my older brother Johnny, who took me to school every day, being 3 years older, and give me the opportunity to kind of flourish at St. Xavier, being such a big school. As a freshman, I was seen often by the coaches, along with a couple other individuals, at being maybe the next group of kids to put a logo, that St. X logo on the helmet. And as you may imagine, upperclassmen aren't always loving that concept. But with my older brother, I knew that I was safe and that I was able to compete and had no fear when I got out on that football field. Then it came to my little brother, who I wanted to do everything for. I wanted to set the bar. I didn't want to have him step over that bar. I wanted to make sure he had a jump. And so I did what I could, and I worked as hard as I could to ensure that I provided that for him. So he was always kind of my motivation and what pushed me to become who I am today. As I stepped into the business world and stepped outside of the football lines, I knew that life has already spoken to me in so many ways through my opportunities at St. Xavier at University of Cincinnati. And I learned a lot that football, as John Madden says, is the greatest ultimate team sport, has taught me. And that is, you get up when you get knocked down, and you surround yourself with people you can trust, and you can love, and you can lean on when times get hard. The most important things in life are simply your faith and your family, and that is what I'll take to the grave with me. So thank you again for everything, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend, and congratulations to everybody else at the table here. Thank you.
You know, when I talked to Danny this week, we were talking about that 2007 state championship team, and he made a great point. You think about your graduating class, which was 2008, correct? So that 2008 class, just in the GCL alone, was absolutely loaded with next-level talent. I mean, you think about DeVere Posey, J.K. Schaefer, Kyle Rudolph, all guys from GCL that year. I might be missing a couple that went on to play in the NFL. So not just winning the GCL that year was difficult. They were undefeated, went on to win the state championship, and what an unbelievable season. Certainly in the top 5 teams, high school football teams I've covered in my time working here in Cincinnati. We do have one more Hall of Fame inductee. A round of applause for Kelsey Mitchell, Princeton class of 2014. One of the finest high school basketball players in greater Cincinnati history, Kelsey Mitchell was a 3-time Prep All-American and powered the Vikings to the 2014 Ohio Division I State Championship. Nominated as a LaRosa's Player of the Year as a junior, Kelsey won the award as a senior and is only the 24th athlete to be inducted into the LaRosa's Hall of Fame in her first year of eligibility. She went on to be an All-American at Ohio State and was the #2 overall pick in the WNBA draft and is coming off back-to-back All-Star seasons with the Indiana Fever. At Princeton, Kelsey helped lead the Vikings to the Ohio Division I State Championship with a 30-point performance in the state final. Over her 4-year career at Princeton, Kelsey set 15 career records, including points with more than 2,000. Steals and made 3-pointers were some of her record-setting numbers as well. Her high school honors were amazing, as she was named Ohio Miss Basketball in 2014 and was also selected Parade All-American, McDonald's All-American, and Second Team All-American by USA Today. At Ohio State, she was the National Freshman of the Year, Second Team All-American 3 times, and the Big Ten Player of the Year. Her more than 3,400 college points are second most in NCAA Division I history. What a career, what a resume, and that resume is now just a little bit longer. The newest member of the LaRosa's Hall of Fame is Kelsey Mitchell. Accepting on Kelsey's behalf is Tamet Duckworth, Assistant Athletic Director at Princeton High School.
Unfortunately, Kelsey can't be here today. Her and her Indiana Fever teammates are about to take on Las Vegas here in a few hours. She's sorry that she couldn't be here and wanted to thank Buddy LaRosa and the LaRosa family for this honor. When we were talking about tonight kind of being a family affair, many people don't know, but her late father, Mark Mitchell, was also on that 1983 state championship team. So today, father and daughter both are being inducted into the LaRosa Hall of Fame. The Mitchell family, most of you know, represent Cincinnati basketball. Her twin sister played with her at Ohio State. One of her brothers is playing professionally, and one of her brothers is coaching here, kind of taking on in Mark's footsteps. The Mitchell family would like to say congratulations, and from Princeton High School, we want to say thank you for everything that the LaRosa family has done. Thank you.
One of the questions I often get doing what I do for a living is, who's the best high school athlete you've ever covered? And for the longest time, that was a 1-name answer. Now it's a 3-name answer. It was Sean Alexander, who I saw in high school, and he was incredible. And now I've gone on to include Kelsey Mitchell, who I can't even begin to tell you how good she was on the basketball court, and also Dee Alexander. Those are the 3 that I now name: Sean Alexander, Kelsey Mitchell, and Dee Alexander. To finish off this afternoon, I want to invite Michael LaRosa back to the microphone for a final prayer.
Thank you, Joe. Wow, what a day. What a day. I would like to recognize in the presence of our Heavenly Father the following. Father God, we thank you for your greatness as evidenced in your creation, the universe, all life forms that exist. We recognize your goodness inside all of our families, our parents, our grandparents, our family members, inside our schools and our places of worship where we are influenced by coaches and teachers and administrators and mentors who strive to have us become better than they are. Thank you, Father, also for your grace and providing us a second chance in life through the sacrifice of your own Son. We love you, Father. We are appreciative of your unconditional love in this day and every day as we move forward. Thank you for your blessings. I hope you all enjoyed today. It's been a very humbling experience to be here and hear your stories and share in your success. And we wish you all the best as you move forward. Thank you.
One more round of applause for our Hall of Famers. And our MVPs. Thank you again to our committee. And I would ask you tonight to celebrate by ordering a LaRosa's pizza for dinner. It's non-negotiable. If you want to take some pictures, you can see it right up here. Come on up stage, take some pictures, bring your award with you, and have a great rest of your Sunday. Congratulations to everybody.